Hey, warrior, welcome back. Today we're having a conversation that honestly, a lot more women need than another productivity hack. Because I don't actually think most women have a motivation problem. I think a lot of women are trying to build income while carrying fear, shame, burnout, survival mode, people pleasing, self doubt, and nervous system exhaustion. And then they're wondering why everything feels so hard. If you've ever started something and quit, overthought every decision, undercharged, felt guilty wanting more money, avoided posting, avoided selling, or constantly felt like everybody was better at business than you, I need you to hear me clearly right now. You are not broken. And honestly, you might not even have a business problem. You might have a money wound. Now, before anybody panics, that doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're doomed. And it definitely doesn't mean you can't succeed. But it does mean that your relationship with money probably started forming long before you ever tried to start a business. For a lot of women, money was stressful growing up. Maybe there was never enough. Maybe money caused arguments. Maybe you learned that wanting more was selfish. Maybe you learned to stay small. Maybe you watched women overwork themselves into exhaustion just to survive. And now here you are as an adult trying to build income, while your nervous system still believes that money equals stress, visibility equals danger, and receiving equals guilt. That's heavy. And nobody talks about that part online. Instead, social media tells women just manifest harder, just hustle harder, just post more, just launch again. Meanwhile, warrior, you are sitting there exhausted, trying to figure out why you can't barely keep up with normal life some days. And honestly, that's why I wanted to make this video, because I think women need less shame and more honesty. So let's talk about the first thing. Your money story was built before your business. Most women think if I had the right strategy, everything would work. And strategy does matter. Of course it does. But strategy on top of an exhausted nervous system feels impossible to sustain. Because deep down, you believe, I'm not good enough. People won't pay me. I always fail. I'm bad with money. I never finish anything. Then every business action feels emotionally heavy. Posting feels vulnerable. Selling feels scary. Launching feels terrifying. Not because you're incapable, but because your identity is fighting your actions. And warrior, that's why so many women stay stuck in learning mode forever. They consume content constantly. They buy yet again another course. They change direction again, and then they start over again. Because staying busy learning feels emotionally safer than risking failure. Whew, that one hits. And listen, I'm not saying this to shame anybody. I've been there myself. I know what it feels like to doubt yourself, to wonder if you're wasting your time, to feel embarrassed every time something doesn't work immediately. But eventually I realized confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes from action. Messy action, imperfect action, tiny action, not giant perfect leaps. And that leads me into the second thing. Stop trying to build income through panic, because panic energy creates chaos. And honestly, a lot of women are stuck in reaction mode, trying everything, posting everywhere, watching everyone else changing their plans every week. And it feels productive, but it's actually emotional survival mode. Calm consistency is what creates momentum, not emotional chaos. Warriors do not need 17 income streams, 42 unfinished projects, or another planner that you'll abandon in 3 days. You need simplicity. One audience, one message, one offer, one next step. That's it. And honestly, simple is hard for women in survival mode because our brains think if I do more, maybe I'll finally feel safe. But more is not always better. Sometimes more is just more overwhelming. And I think women especially need permission to slow down enough to actually hear themselves again. Because exhausted women don't build sustainable businesses well. They just survive 1 week at a time. Now, the next thing I really want to talk about is offers, because I think social media has convinced women that every offer needs to be massive, perfect, beautifully branded, and fully automated. Meanwhile, warriors are sitting here just trying to make their first consistent $100 without having a nervous breakdown. Your first offer should solve one problem. That's it. Not 10 problems, not everyone's problems, one problem. And honestly, the simpler the offer, the more likely you are to actually launch it. And that matters. Done is profitable. Perfection is expensive. And I wish more women understood that, because perfectionism is usually fear wearing a productive outfit. Whew, write that one down. Some of you are not procrastinating because you're lazy. You're procrastinating because you're scared of judgment, failure, visibility, or proving your own self-doubt right. And again, you're not broken for that. But eventually, healing means telling yourself the truth. The truth might be, I'm scared. Okay, that's human. But scared does not mean incapable. Now, let's talk about selling for a minute, because this is another area women struggle deeply with. A lot of women think selling means being pushy, being fake, being manipulative, or becoming someone they're not. And honestly, I hate that version of selling too. But real selling is just service. It's saying, hey, this might help you. That's it. You don't need to scream at people. You don't need to fake urgency. And you don't need to pretend that your life is perfect online. You need honesty, clarity, confidence, and connection. And confidence grows through repetition, not waiting. I think so many women wait to feel confident before they begin, but the confidence comes after. After the posting, after the creating, after the trying, the learning, the showing up, not before. And honestly, if you wait until fear disappears completely, you'll wait forever. Courage is usually built while still shaking. So now the last thing I really want to leave you with today is this. Focus creates income. Scattered energy creates exhaustion. Some of you are carrying so much emotional pressure to finally make this work that every decision feels life or death. And that pressure is suffocating your creativity. You do not need to build an empire this month. You need momentum, tiny, consistent momentum. One finished thing, one clear offer, one honest message, one next step. That's how women rebuild trust with themselves, not through intensity, but through consistency. And warrior, I really need you to hear this part. Your worth is not measured by how fast you succeed, how much money you make, how productive you are, or how perfectly you perform online. You are already worthy. The business is just catching up to the healing. Okay, that one gets me every time. So if this video resonated with you today, I would genuinely love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what part hit home the hardest? And If you want deeper support around healing your money mindset and learning simple sales strategies that actually feel aligned, come and join my free Empower Collective school group. Inside, you can grab the free Money Healing mini journal and join my free Money Breakthrough and Simple Sales event later this month. And if you're ready for a deeper reset around your mindset, money, and momentum, I also share more inside my Breakthrough Code course. Everything is linked below. Reemerge and rise, warrior, because warriors do it better, and I'll see you in the next video.